Very good morning, everyone. Hope the slide is visible, the front slide.
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. So this time I'm going to handle the second subject of your second semester, that is pre-engineering construction technology. That subject code will start with the 20CCT 22. Okay. So what do you mean by pre-engineering construction technology? Pre in the sense what? Before starting any work or the thing is like whatever you need to construct or whatever you need to convey. It's pre-information, pre-construction, pre-installation, right? So before starting up the work, whatever you need to prepare the things for your future work. So that term it starts with pre here. So pre-engineering construction technology, it's nothing but what? Whatever you are going to construct the building in those in that particular building, so many structural elements will be there. For example, column, beam, slab, flooring part, right? And then windows, doors. So everything will be pre-constructed. Means in a particular construction site, they are going to manufacture these elements, and as per the design concepts, they will bring those structural elements to the required location, and just they goes on installing those elements at the required place, right? So here it's just like the introduction about that, and here the course objectives. So what are the main goals of this subject? So this course will be enable students to understand the type of prefabricated elements. So prefabricated element is nothing but the structural element which are constructed at the construction. I mean at the manufacturing site, and there are certain types are there. Which type of prefabricated elements are there? Whether it is a small type, whether it is a large type. So many different types are there. So these types are going to help you at the future time, so that these particular elements belongs to which category, I mean which type. So depends upon that the design concepts will get depends, and even the installation process also it will get chosen by depends upon this prefabricated, I mean the type of prefabricated elements. And understand the methods of. Yes, somebody texted I think once. And no need to place your name and USN during the class time. So I will inform you once. That time you can put your name and USN there. Okay. Do not follow these things during the class time. Okay. Go back to the slide. The slide is visible, right?
Yes, visible, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. So understand the method of hoisting. So hoisting is nothing but the erecting the structural elements from one place to the required location. For example, you will bring the structural elements from manufacturing site to the required location. I mean where exactly the construction is going to be takes place. So that time you will bring those elements. Of course the structural elements are heavier in its weight, so you require certain equipments or hoisting vehicles just to erect those structural elements from the transportation vehicle to the required location. So different methods are there for that hoisting. That one also it is helpful to study in this subject and understand the basic construction of pre-engineered buildings. So you'll be having certain design concepts here, depends upon which type of building you are constructing, whether it is a monolithic construction or whether it is a similar structures what you need to install. For example, ashray colonies and all, so there I mean police quarters. So in that case the design of, I mean the plan of each and every building will be same. So that time this particular concepts will be helpful, because at a similar time the similar weight or similar dimensions of the columns are to be constructed at n number of times, so that depends upon the requirement they can install that one at the similar structures, right? So those things are the main objectives of this subject. And once you complete this subject, what you will be learning, I mean which are the course outcomes. So on completion of this course, students are able to design the pre-engineered structures and execute the same for a given structures. So certain initial design concepts are going to be learned in this subject, so that depends upon the work or depends upon the type of structures you are going to design as well as execute the same. To know the different types of stresses acting on the structures while lifting the prefabricated structures, basically these concepts will be helpful for the load bearing structural elements such as column and then beam as well as slab. So these, while erecting, certain stresses are going to be developed. So how you need to remove those, I mean the stresses whatever it is going to apply, and certain times the cracks are going to be, I mean, the chances of cracks can be appear on the structural elements, especially on the erection process. So, how you need to overcome those factors and all, you are going to learn by this subject, and then and type of equipment required to support such stresses. Certain stresses are going to be developed at the structural members. That time, you need to remove that one from by using different equipments. I mean, they are like the support systems. So just it is going to take whatever the stresses will get developed on the structural members, such as like the temporary beams and all. For a particular structural beam, they are going to install one more beam, and that time whatever the stresses will get developed, it is going to carried out by the additional beam. It's like a non-useful beam for the structural things. Okay, and as you know, there are five modules in this subject. The module one starts with the general principle of prefabrication. I mean, what exactly the definition of prefabrication, and the basic introduction about this, at which place these prefabrication structures are going to be used, those things. And here, comparison with the monolithic structures in the sense without having any particular joints. So, like what our own buildings and all have, they are considered as monolithic structures, means they will not be having any gaps in between the structural members. And then types of prefabrication are there, and here site and plant prefabrication, the difference between site as well as the plant prefabrication, and what about the cost expenditure about this prefabrication, those things it will be covering with this economy of prefabrication. And then modular coordination, so basically the dimensions are to be measured in terms of module here. Okay, here our own structural members, I mean the conventional structural members, they are measured in terms of meter, right? The dimensions, length, breadth, height and all, right? But here these prefabricated structural members, they are measured in terms of this module. Okay, and then standardization, several standards are there. I mean, Indian standard code books, how they are going to maintain for this prefabrication, that one also will study there. And then planning for components of prefabricated structures, how exactly you need to plan for various members, which are the main concepts you need to follow, what you need to study first. I mean, the basic planning will help you to execute these particular works in a better way, right? Because planning for conventional building is different, and planning for this prefabricated structures are different. There is a lot of difference between these two aspects. Because I will give you just one example. If for prefabrication and all, I mean, you can take in the conventional, for the conventional and all, just you require some other materials or equipments or some other tools, you can stop the work and you can bring that one at the earliest, right? But here the things will be too different. For example, you have erected a particular structural member by using the hoisting elements, so that time certain tools and all it is required. Until and unless you should bring that required things, that structural element will be hanging. Like, it's like the safety precautions and all you need to take there, the chances of accidents also it will be more. So that time we need to minimize these concepts just by using the proper planning in these prefabricated structures. And then next concept, that is uh, disuniting of structures. So disuniting of structures, especially it comes for the steel structures. For example, this disuniting in the sense, once you have already installed the structural members, suppose if you want to change that entire building from one place to another place, that time just you can dismantle those structural members which is jointed by nut and bolt connections. So you can reinstall that one at the required location, I mean without that place. So in that case, how exactly they need to disunit of those structural members, that concepts we'll study here. Then handling and direction stresses. Handling in the sense, moving the structural members from one place to another place. So that time certain erections are going to be happens. So we need to handle those structural erection members. And then elimination of erection members. So certain stresses will get developed within the structural members. We need to eliminate that so that the chances of accidents and the cracks in the structural members, it may be reduced compared to the other chances. So elimination of erection stresses, in that beam is there, and then column, and in some cases symmetrical frames. Okay, in these three members, how exactly the stresses will get developed and how they are going to eliminate those. Okay, this is belongs to module 1. And next, module 2, prefabricated elements. So which are the different prefabricated elements will come in this concept: roof and floor panels, ribbed floor panels. So these are the different types of members. Few are used in conventional building also, and certain special elements are there which are used only in this prefabricated elements. Okay, and then wall panels and footings. And here the most important part, that is joints of different structural connections. For example, column is going to connect with the slab, and then slab which is going to connect with the beam. So how exactly the connections between those elements and how they need to join those all concepts are there, which are really interesting concepts. And then effective ceilings for joints for waterproofing. So basically here we are going to connect the two structural members like column and beam. Once you join that, of course the minor gaps may takes place between those two members. So that's those gaps, it can be filled by certain sealants. And especially for exterior part of the building, the chances of leakages may take place. Even we need to reduce those leakages just by filling the effective sealings and all. And then provisions for non-structural fastening is just like the connections between the two steel structures. So how exactly it will be there, or fastening in the sense certain you need to attach to the plain wall without drilling or without any proper supports, right? So those fastenings also we'll be studying here. And then expansion joints in precast construction. Basically the concrete structures, it may expand or shrinks depends upon the temperature changes, as you already know about that. So that time you need to maintain certain gaps between the structural members, such that at the expansion time it should takes that particular gap place. Else, if you have not provided any gaps and you have constructed that one at the colder regions, the colder time, that time when summer comes, that concrete may get expands little bit. That time the cracks may get appears on the structural members, again it fails in the construction part. So we need to provide certain expansion joints in the precast constructions. And then construction of precast structural components, which are the different methods are there, and which are the different elements we need to construct. In that, so many components are there: purlins, principal rafters, roof trusses, lattice girders, gable frames, single span, single storied frames, and then single storied buildings, slabs, beams, and columns. So these are the different precast structural components. In this, we are going to study how exactly they are going to manufacture, how exactly they need to follow the design concepts, and how they need to place the reinforcements within the concrete structures, and which are the different methods of constructions. These all concepts we'll be studying in this module second. And module 3, after the construction of those structural elements, the next procedure it comes with production and hoisting technology. Production in the sense the manufacturing phase of the structural member. So in this choice of production setup means depends upon the total work or quantities of the prefabricated elements. The production setup is to be chosen. Where exactly we need to place that factory or manufacturing site, and different manufacturing methods are there. And then stationary and mobile productions. Stationary and mobile production means stationary means it is fixed. Mobile in the sense that entire plant only it is going to move from one place to other place. So plant in the sense where you require at the smaller structural elements, for example bricks and all. So those pavers, bricks and all you can manufacture by this mobile production only. So just you need to take that particular entire setup of mobile productions, and at the required location you can place that mobile production setup, and then you need to take the required product from that machine. Okay, stationary in the sense which is used for large constructions, and it can't be moved from one place to another place. And planning of this production setup, what and all we need to consider, the general considerations before this production setup. And then storage of precast elements, the major thing what we need to concentrate more, because once you will manufacture you need to store them in a better manner such that it should not get crack or it should not get cut in between the elements because of exterior loads. Because how you have placed the bricks and all one above the other, you can't place these structural elements like that, because these are heavy weighted. Once if you have placed without any proper gaps or safety precautions, the chances of cracks may get appears on the lower part of the structural member. So storage of precast elements not only with respect to the wall panels, beams and all, various structural elements are there, and we are going to study the storage of that precast elements. And then the dimensional tolerances is nothing but certain limits they are going to provide. So how exactly this dimension tolerances will be useful, especially while joining the structural members. Okay, and then acceleration of concrete hardening. So certain additives are there. Just to use those additives for the required members, the concrete will get hardened at the earlier time. So this will be much helpful in the prefabricated manufacturing site. And then equipments for hoisting and erections. Different types of equipments are used for hoisting and erection process. So different types are related with respect to height, with respect to working radius, with respect to weight of the structural members, and even with respect to the dimensions of the structural members. Depends upon these factors, the type of hoisting and erection equipments will be chosen. Okay, and then certain techniques are there for erection of different types of members like beams, slabs, wall panels, and columns, and vacuum lifting pads. So vacuum lifting pad is also a technique. So just by vacuum pressure several members are to be moved from one place to other place. Okay, so these parts will be studying in module 3. Then module 4, these are the certain special members like precast sandwich panels, and then pre-stressed concrete solid flat slabs, hollow core slabs or panels, pre-stressed concrete T-bridge. Basically, these types of members will be used while supporting system of the bridge. Okay, and then precast segmental box girders and specifications and design considerations. So to do these all designs and as well as certain specifications we need to refer. Those specifications also we'll be studying in this module 4. Might be you can think these structural members, why can't they mention in the module 2? Because there also the module 2 you have seen roof members, wall panels, beams, columns, right? So why can't they use these structural elements to there? Because they are like the conventional structural members. There also they are going to place the roof in the conventional building, but here also, but here the sandwich panels and all, they are special elements in this precast technology. Okay, and then module 5, which is related with pre-engineered building constructions, and we need to think the advantages of this pre-engineered buildings. Why specifically we need to use this pre-engineered building? What are the main advantages of this? And then pre-engineered building versus conventional steel buildings. Here we need to compare with the pre-engineered building as well as the conventional steel buildings. And this is most asked question in module 5, which is just related with module 1. Whatever we are going to study, the advantages, limitations, disadvantages or applications, the same thing it will be get repeat in module 5. Just you need to consider a whole building for this comparison. Most of the points will be similar to the first module, and there are certain fixed questions are there from this module 5. So studying this module 5 will be much advantageous for to get the better marks. Okay, and design considerations of pre-engineered building, and then the applications. Design considerations in the sense how we need to consider the load, how we need to consider the joints. The basic thing we need to concentrate more on this pre-engineered building is providing of joints, because where exactly you need to provide the joint? Think that this is a column structures. So where you are going to provide the joints here means the erecting joints, because directly you can't lift from the bottom of this place, in bottom of this elements, right? So you need to provide certain hooks for this, and this providing of the hooks depends upon the length as well as weight of the members. Suppose if you are placed only at the center part, what it happens might be because of weight the cracks may get appears at this part like this, correct? And then when you have provided the two hooks, one by dividing this entire length, okay, and in that case if length is too long and you have provided one hook here and one more hook here, so because of the exterior weight from these members, you may get cracks at the center of this part. So considering the design concepts with respect to all these parts, like considering the weight, considering the dimensions, considering the joints, and then providing the exact dimensions. And here in conventional building, this is a column, and then you are going to place slab over this. Okay, sorry, just a second. Okay, this is column, and just you are placing slab over this. So here, whatever the gaps, you can zoom this part. There is one option, just how you are going to zoom the photos and all. Just you can zoom in that way if it is not visible to you properly. So in the conventional building, just you can match up these gaps by placing plasters and all. But here in this construction of pre-engineering technology, dimensions are fixed, correct? So once if you have placed and if you found any gaps here, so you can see if any gaps found, you can't alter that one at that time, because the structural members are already constructed. So that gaps will be, of course it will be visible if dimensions are less or more with respect to the design concept. So like that various parts will be there. We need to concentrate much on these particular aspects which are special from the conventional buildings. Okay, so module 5. Okay, So I think the introduction part is clear to you now. From tomorrow onwards, we'll start with the module one. Okay. The subject is very interesting. Till now, you have not. I think you have not studied about this subject. Hope you will enjoy these subjects in a better way. Okay. If you are having any doubts or anything additional information on these subjects, just you can convey. Yes. The basic concept about this subject is like you need to compare this particular concepts with your conventional building. Means in conventional building, how you are going to do? You are going to bring all the required materials to the construction site itself. Correct. And in pre-engineered building, everything which is manufactured in the manufacturing site itself. Only the thing is, just you need to bring that one from manufacturing site to the required location. You need to install that. So what you need to understand by this concept, you can construct a high story building in a shorter period of time. Only the thing is, the additional plan, I mean, at the initial time. So that initial time, whatever you are going to plan for that building, it takes larger time. But once if you have planned properly, easily you can easily you can what manufacture, and then easily you can complete that process. I mean, whatever the basic concepts are there, you can easily complete those. For this, we need proper planning system, and then you need to think about the cost. You can speak up now. Where exactly we require higher cost, whether it is for precast structural elements or prefabricated buildings, or which is required for conventional building. Can somebody? Just it is a general discussion. Yes, Vivek.
Sir, conventional construction is expensive.
In conventional, the construction cost will be expensive. The thing is like,
Yes, sir.
yes, very good. How you need to think? Because here you need to bring all the materials for the conventional building, and then you need to install that one. You require yes, Vivek.
Labor cost also, sir.
Yes, labor cost also. You require the proper labor management also, and even material management, everything. But there in the prefabricated elements, of course, the initial cost of these prefabricated structures are high. I will explain you how, because it requires the manufacturing site, the separate manufacturing site, and then the cost to transport that elements from required location to, I mean, manufacturing site to required location. That transportation cost and the manufacturing cost will be higher in prefabricated concepts, and even the erection process. So in conventional building and all, there is no chances of erection of the structural elements as you will use in the prefabricated concepts. The thing is like the initial cost, it may be higher compared to the conventional building where in prefabricated concepts. But whatever you are going to earn the money, I will explain you this concept. Think that a 10-story building is there. So in that 10-story building, you are constructing the same 10-story building by using conventional concepts, and the same 10-story building you are constructing at other place by using prefabricated elements. So here in the conventional building, as usually you will be planning like when you need to construct, and when you need to start and when you need to end. As here you require a proper curing period, the structure, it may takes around 1 year. A 10-story building, suppose, just take one example, 1 year it may take. But here in the prefabricated elements, where the structural elements of all 10-story buildings are constructed at once, because just we need to start joining those elements as per the required design. So all 10-story buildings are manufactured in the manufacturing site at once, and just they will come and they will install that, right? So installation cost, transportation cost, and then erection cost, hoisting cost, manufacturing cost, it will be higher in prefabricated elements. So at a initial period, the cost of these prefabricated elements will be higher compared to the conventional one, but it is going to advantage for the future part. Just you can think how you require around 1 year to complete that 10-story building, but the same building, if you have used with the prefabricated elements, you can complete it in 1 month. Okay, you can consider with all the aspects like curing and then designing, planning, or just you can consider 2 months. Okay, so here whatever the capital investment you have invested for conventional building as well as this prefabricated elements, that building is going to be ready for next 10 months, but this prefabricated element you have got in 2 months, means whatever it is going to earn for next 10 months, it will be much more advantageous compared to the conventional concepts. So with respect to the capital cost, we can think in this way, and even the construction time will be lesser compared to the conventional building, so that also we can consider. So with respect to time, you'll be studying these concepts in economics and finance subjects. Time is also money, right? So by using that concepts in this subject, we can say that this is most advantageous compared to the conventional one, right? And then anything else? Think. Okay, just place your name and USN in the chat box. And from tomorrow will my class is there at 8:30, so hope you all will be present for those classes. If you want to convey anything, you can convey it, else place your name and USN, and then you can disconnect the call. Others, please. Ravina, Chetan, Aishwarya, Shabas, just place your name and USN. If you want to convey anything, you can convey it, else you can disconnect the call.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Chetan.
Sir, ಆರಾಮ್ ಸರ್.
ಆರಾಮ್ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ನೀವು ಆರಾಮಿದ್ದೀರಿ?
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್, ಆರಾಮಿದೆ ಸರ್.
ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಇವಾಗ? ಯಾವ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್?
ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಹುಬ್ಳಿನ ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಆರಾಮೈತಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? ಮನೆಗೆಲ್ಲ ಆರಾಮಿದ್ದಾರಾ?
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಆರಾಮದ.